because what is going to happen is I'm going to go mic because I do not want
All right.
any to
Well,
hear me.
I'm streaming. Stream is live. Here we are. So it looks like Cassidy is the first ban here.
Yeah, here we are at the PGN Invitational Semifinals, the first matchup in between Swagging Dragons and No Tear, No Fear. We've got No Tear, No Fear banning out Cassidy and Yasua, and on the purple side, the first ban for them is Akali. So already a lot of really high damage output champions, mainly targeting champs that can go either top or mid, realistically.
Right.
We saw an Akali ban last week in the quarterfinals, but we haven't seen a Yasuo ban. It's kind of interesting. He's one of those champs, due to the recent nerfs, you almost don't want him on your team because he has such a low success rate in mid. I think he has one of the lower win rates overall right now. But at the same time, if he gets rolling, he's an absolute monster.
Exactly. No, and well, the same goes for Akali and a Cassidy who's well farmed. I don't know if these are bans particularly targeting individuals, or if this is just a champion that you really don't want to find yourself facing. Now, the Fiddlesticks seems to me like it must be a ban targeting a particular player. I mean, Jungle Fiddlesticks is not a hugely popular pick, I don't think. It seems more of a niche pick. Unlike Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is played all across the board and is very strong right now.
Yeah, and a Zillion ban as the last one for Swagging Dragons. So we've got first pick over here on the blue side, and it's going to be Lee Sin, who in the last quarterfinals, all three sets that we saw, Lee Sin was a highly contested pick.
Oh, sure.
So it'll be interesting to see. I know Lee Sin is a favorite of both. Just checking my notes right now. On Swagging Dragons for Gubi-san and Ilo. Gubi-san says he would play him. If you could only play one champ for the rest of his life, it'd be Lee Sin, because he can play any role, and he really is such a versatile champion. And over here on the purple side, we've got Thresh and Rammus. So Rammus in the jungle, it'll be really interesting to see that matchup versus Lee Sin, which I can only assume is a jungle Lee.
Right. I've read that Rammus currently has a 56% win rate right now.
That's huge.
Which is, it's monstrous. He's just so tanky. Already, Purple Team have a very tanky team composition in just their first two. It's going to be hard, depending on the remaining champions that the blue team pick. It's going to be hard to eat through that front line. But it looks like they've picked a Morgana for their support. Very strong with the Black Shield. It'll be good against the Thresh to negate flays and hooks, as well as the walls of the box. Now, I would guess that this Maokai is going into the top lane. Though Jaden Jed does have Smite up. I mean, it's completely possible that the Lee Sin and the Maokai can trade, and the Lee Sin is in the jungle instead of a lane.
Certainly possible. Although we see, I mean, I would definitely assume that is indeed a Mao top.
Right.
But yeah, going back to that Rammus pick, I mean, you mentioned that he has a 56% win rate right now, which is indeed totally huge. I mean, if you know the recent, I guess you could call them nerfs to home guards. When you lose basically any form of combat, you basically go back to tier 1 boots. But in the interim, they were substantially cheaper. I think 200 gold cheaper. So, you know, rushing a home guard Mobies on Rammus, you basically got teleport in your kit. I mean, you're back to lane, and you can counter gank anywhere so quickly that, I mean, just the sheer presence that he has on the map is pretty much unrivaled currently.
Right, especially when you're running summoners like Ghost and Teleport. You can be in the middle of a fight, whether you're clearing your red buff or you're back in base. So it looks like Purple team have locked in Rumble for their top lane, and a Lucian Thresh is the bot lane duo there.
You can see some of the players are quick to realize that we actually do not have the summoner blocking overlay on, so they're hiding some of their, or they were at least hiding some of their sums by running,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Revive Clairvoyance or something like that. But yeah, and then over on the blue team, the final picks are indeed going to be a Vayne and a Ziggs. So pretty well-rounded team from them, and we're just waiting on the last pick here from the purple side. Is it going to be a Talon? That would work well mid, considering you've got the AP coming from Rumble in the top lane, and Talon is extremely strong, although we're hovering a few champions.
A couple different champions.
I kind of like that Talon pick, I got to be honest.
Well, he's got enough time. He could dance over every champ in the game.
Oh,
Katarina locked in.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that's a heck of a team fight with the box into a Katarina ultimate on top of a Rumble equalizer with a culling coming at you from the other side. I mean, if it's pulled off well, that's a scary team fight that purple team have put together. But then blue team.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, blue team, they have the Maokai and the Ziggs working together with their AoE, as well as Morgana's Soul Shackles. So both teams, I think, have a pretty decent team fight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really like the purple team's comp right now. You mentioned that they have a really incredible team fight. It's really going to be interesting to see. I have a feeling, whenever you have a cat on your team mid lane, you want to get them rolling as quickly as possible, because that can just face roll so hard. So I'm expecting to see Rice Legend probably show up there first. And what do you think about the level 1 in this matchup? Are we going to see any invades, or are both teams going to be pretty defensive in terms of hanging on to their buffs?
I don't know. I anticipate that we'll have a fairly conservative level 1. I mean, I can't know for sure. I don't know the tendencies of either of these teams. But as far as level 1 power goes, I think the advantage has to go to blue team, especially if you can land a Dark Binding on somebody like the Lucian early on. If you can land that on him, it's detrimental. It's almost a guaranteed first blood. Even if Vayne decided to take Condemn level 1 and also pin someone against the wall after the Dark Binding, I think blue team has a better level 1, especially, and with the bombs coming out from Ziggs every couple seconds,
yeah, they have the ability to both get that first blood if it came down to a team fight, but also to kite relatively well. As you said, if Vayne were to take Condemn, although obviously it would only be if she had to, Condemn offering great kiting ability, as well as the snare coming out from Morgana, in addition to the damage output from a Ziggs Q. That would definitely dissuade any sort of funny business coming from the other side. So we've got 1 minute left on our delay. The teams are in there right now. Any predictions for the game overall? Anything you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, I want to see how well this Katarina can do in the team fights, but I'm also watching a good Vayne play is one of the most exciting things to watch. So if Smear could really get rolling on that Vayne, that'd be a blast to watch. I think the bot lane matchup between the Morgana Vayne and the Thresh Lucian is going to be. I'm hoping it's an exciting one. I think it will be.
Yeah, these early dragons are going to be really, I think, what decides the game. Both top laners running teleport, and both of them having a pretty early power spike in terms of their damage output. Rumble, obviously, with that equalizer,
Right.
is devastating in the first or second contesting fights for Dragon. So we'll have to keep an eye on those TPs, if any are blown, and who has the advantage in that category. Other than that, the delay is over, and we are loading in right now. And I'm going to steal my past co-caster Gil Frost's trademarked questionnaire about the skins and the skin advantage for this game. So waiting on a few players to load in, but it looks like we've got a Ghost Bride, Morgana, Muay Thai Lee Sin, and Aristocrat Vayne for No Tear, No Fear. So that's 3 for them. Gubi-san's still not connected, but only one skin for that Full Metal Rambus skin. That is sweet. I've been meaning to pick that up.
That's one of my favorite skins.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I think Full Metal Rambus, that ult with the saw blades coming out, slicing up everything. It's a fun ult to watch.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Very, very cool. Gubi-san still not connected. Hopefully we don't have any issues in that category.
Ghost Bride Morgana, also a fan. A skin that I partake in from time to time. Morgana being one of my favorite supports. I remember
you dabble in
I dabble in
Morgana.
Morgana. Yeah, I dabble a little bit. Those dark bindings are just so potent, so strong.
I mean, Dark Binding is for sure one of the most, I don't want to call it broken, I think it works terrifically well on arcade, but one of the if not the best, one of the best CC abilities in the game. I mean, it's a 3-second snare is just ridiculous.
Yeah, you get hit by that and your team reports you for AFK. It's yeah, I mean, you get hit by one of those and you're sitting there just, I mean, you can practically get up and grab a drink of water while you're waiting for the thing to wear off.
Yeah, I will say I'm looking at these teams, and I do think that Swagging Dragons is a little bit limited in their wave clear, and just when compared to the clear of Ziggs on No Tear, No Fear. So I would say the No Tear, No Fear's ability to resist. Oh, and we have a pause coming in now in the game. It looks like we just need to fix the window, the capture for the stream.
It should be good. The stream has a delay to it, but it should be all good.
It's up now.
I was worried that Gubi-san never made it into the game.
I was worried as well. We might have to restart in that case. But yeah, so I was lucky enough to get some responses from the players. As I mentioned, Lee Sin being the favorite champion of both Gubi-san and Ailo. Ailo, both of them having played League of Legends for the better part of 5 years. Gubi-san's favorite team, of course, he is our Thresh over here.
Right.
Favorite team is Cloud9, favorite player Uzi, and he is actually a classically trained singer.
A classically trained singer. All right.
Indeed, yeah. So we have
the more you know.
The more you know, exactly.
All right, here we are.
Here we are, champions, finally coming out onto the Rift. No interesting starts so far from either team in terms of items. Getting some blue pings.
Right.
Looking like they want to defend against. Oh, and this Vayne is headed top lane.
Oh.
Could be defensive or a possible
invade onto the red.
As Morgana goes to just ward their own red. So Let's see what happens.
There's some tense opening moments here. Rumble. Oh,
Yeah.
the Q connects. Lee Sin goes flying in, but that's about all he can do. It's level 1.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a love tap there. Love tap, love tap.
Can't quite
Both
clear the
teams
ward.
trying to figure out what the other is doing. Trinket advantage definitely going to Swagging Dragons
Yes.
right now. They've got their bases covered all across the river.
So, I guess what did I say about the level 1, that we would have a sort of a fairly I think they just want to hold on to their buffs. They don't want to risk anything.
I think for No Tear No Fear, they definitely want to hang on to their buffs, and they're just worried about having their lane swap caught out. It looks like they want to have Vayne in the top lane against Rumble, able to just get enough CS and then maybe swap back after she's picked up a Bilgewater Cutlass or something. So I don't think that the lane swap has been found out. Although both top and support are heading top lane, so we might have a three-man push here in the top lane, which means Lucian and Thresh will be totally alone in the bot lane. We'll see which teams react, but right now it's definitely No Tear No Fear pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm. Well, here we go. We've got No Tear No Fear headed over to the red buff. It looks like they've got 3 of them right now trying to take the thing from Rammus. Rammus coming up, investigating. Who's going to win the smite fight? Looks like Lee Sin picks up the smite on the red buff, forces the flash out of Rammus over the golem, double golem wall. So that's Rammus down red buff and down flash right now. That is a suboptimal start.
That is definitely a suboptimal start. And it's just all about delaying that Rammus from getting his home guards and quill coat. And also, actually, right there, a nice binding coming out from Morgana.
Getting a little gold.
That Lee Sin was able to pick up that red buff simply with a resonating strike onto the large red monster, because both jungler smites were actually down from their first buffs. So that executability from Lee Sin coming in big there to win that.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I hadn't considered the smites were down. Ziggs putting a lot of hurt down on Katarina early on here with the bombs and the auto attack from his passive, really whittling her down, making it hard to CS.
And knowing that Rammus has had a rough start, he's able to freely kind of push into Katarina. And it looks like a early Morgana roam into the mid lane, followed with Lee Sin. This is going to be very interesting.
Binding flashed, but she's not out of the woods yet. Flash Q from Lee Sin, it connects. First blood goes to the jungler. Katarina falls.
That was... I mean, so far in this game, everything from No Tear No Fear seems to be premeditated well in advance. I mean, they moved without a hitch. Go get the red buff. Go top lane. Morgana roams mid at the same time that Lee Sin shows up.
A very intelligent roam from the Morgana.
Yeah. And it's also great because this allows Vayne to get sort of that solo XP.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Morgana is going all the way down to the bot lane to help Maokai in fending off this attack. Because right now the only lane that's really going in Swagging Dragon's favor is the bot lane, but...
We'll see how this turns out. It looks Lucian's boxed out here. He's in a tight spot. Dark Soil goes out, everything comes down, and he falls. Maokai picks up that kill. Now we have a little altercation between Vayne and Rammus. Rammus ganking the top lane, taking a lot of damage. He might consider it twice before he comes back and tries to gank the Vayne again.
Yeah, Rammus definitely did take a lot of damage there. He had backed and already picked up a pink ward before buying any jungle items other than the boots, which obviously help with his Q movement speed. But he is really pretty desperate to try to get something going from this game because we're only 5 minutes in and already there's over 1,000 gold lead in favor of No Tear No Fear. They are just making all the moves right now.
They're making very intelligent roams. Morgana's been in all 3 lanes of the map so far. Ooh, the Condemned nearly pinning Rumble against the wall. A smart little trade coming out. Rumble, pretty tanky here. Not taking a whole lot just from the individual auto attacks.
Yeah, well, having picked up a Doran Shield, you got to think that maybe they saw the lane swap coming. I don't know how good a Doran Shield would be against Maokai. I would have thought maybe start on something like I don't know.
Yeah, Tome, an amplifying tome maybe, to build into that.
Or maybe a Ruby Crystal if they wanted to go defensive, but something that can get him on his way to his haunting guys. So maybe they did sniff it out. Obviously, didn't pay any dividends if they did. Right.
I'm trying to figure how Maokai is doing with this 1v2. He's pushed back up against his turret, but he's picking up solo experience, right? Which is, the hook lands. A lot of damage coming out from the Lucian with that passive. But it seems as though both solo laners and the Maokai and the Rumble are having... I mean, they're doing about as well as you can in a 1v2 situation. It's hard to CS as Rumble. The Flame Spitter only does half damage. Ooh, the Binding narrowly missing. The Q lands. Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Lee Sin does not have to make that critical decision of following up or not following up. Ooh, an all-in comes in from Katarina. The Satchel disengages that. Thresh comes flying in under tower. Starts tanking. Lucian putting down some damage. Thresh taking a number of tower shots, more than he anticipated.
Yeah, that was a questionable cue to follow from Thresh, but I guess you could say his body was telling him yes there.
Here comes Lee Sin from behind. The Q connects, and the ultimate. Lee Sin leaves it for Ziggs to pick up. Kobe from downtown.
That was great. That was great to see the jungler handing off his kill to mid lane after Katarina had started to come back. Only down 10 CS, even though having already died twice. But Ziggs, up 10 CS, a kill and an assist, is going to be sitting pretty in this lane.
I'm just looking at Rumble's CS right now. It is starting to really fall behind Vayne's CS, even though neither of them have had to leave lane because of a death. Rumble has gone back and gotten some items, but he's got over 20 CS differential between him and the Vayne.
And I mean, look at the wards right now in the top side of the map from
my goodness.
No Fear. 5 wards on that top side. Oh, Condemn coming out from
a lot
Vayne.
of damage.
But the Equalizer
flashing
goes down.
into the Equalizer. Oh my gosh. It's hard to follow up when they're that far away with that Equalizer, but I wonder if that was intentional, because Vayne, he shot the Equalizer past Vayne, but Vayne flashed into the Equalizer. AoE. I don't know if if that was a Mad Life Equalizer or...
Either way, we're going to say...
Ooh.
That was a great
Good
play.
flash. Alright, here comes a fight. The Culling comes out, doing a lot of damage to the Maokai. That ult's reducing a lot of it, though. He could get out. Very good kick from Lee Sin, knocking up 2 of the Maokai. Nearly dead. Thresh flashes in, just out of range. Lee Sin follows up his Q. Does he have any support? There goes Thresh. Lee Sin picks that kill up. Morgana with a great binding. And now Rammus and Lee Sin both fall in the bot lane. So, red team, the Swaggin' Dragons finally picking up their first kill of the match. And that goes Lucian's way.
Yeah, it goes his way, but altogether, the Swaggin' Dragons blew 3 flashes in that engage, as opposed to the what looks like only Lee Sin attempted to flash away, and Lucian quickly flashing after him to pick up a kill to try to get himself back in this lane. And I'm wondering, are they going to send Vayne and Morgana bot to get a little bit more standard lanes now that this Vayne... I wouldn't say that she can necessarily even handle Lucian right now. Lucian doing a really good job CSing in this 2v1, and having a kill has already picked up a BF and 2 longswords. So he's still going to have that early game burst damage that can kind of crush a Vayne. So it looks like they're going to send Mao bot still and just let him try to defend this turret. Although it's only about a quarter health. If they don't make a move soon, No Cheer No Fear will have to give up this turret to the bot lane.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure who's got. I mean, we see there's a 2,500 gold lead right now in the favor of No Tear No Fear. Ooh, the hook lands onto Maokai. The flay backwards. Lots of damage coming out from Lucian. The ult popped by Maokai. He should get out of this. Oh, hey, twisted advance onto the Thresh. Don't know how wise that was. Lucian culls him to death, picking up another kill in the bot lane. Started with a great flay, or a great hook.
Ooh, and Ram is sneaking into the side bushes.
Ooh, for the lane gank.
Top lane.
Camera having a spaz out. Here we go. Rammus comes flying in with that rolling speed, diffused by the
a lot of action
condemn.
all over the map. We had Katarina flash. The second time she's had a flash of Morgana binding. Rammus not knowing that there is indeed a pink ward in that bush.
Morgana landing some crazy auto attacks. Misses the binding. Rammus just rolls away. Rumble here to fight with him. This is surely Morgana dead, and the kill goes to the Katarina. Several. Oh, I don't know how wise that teleport is from Maokai, but the equalizer comes down. Everybody is a party in the river as Maokai falls to Lucian. That's 4 kills for Lucian. Excuse me. And oh, what a beautiful hook from Thresh. And that is the Vayne picked up by Rumble.
That was absolutely unreal. I mean, Swagging Dragons was down so much. They have now taken a gold lead. They're up by a little less than 1,000 on their way to go get this dragon. But that's
huge.
That is the threat that Rumble brings into the team fight. So they picked off Morgana, and No Cheer No Fear thought that they had it in them to contest or to follow up that fight because they were low, but the equalizer had not been used, and just absolutely split that fight apart and turned it into a 4-0. So Swagging Dragons with a major comeback, getting the first dragon of the game, up 6-5,
really
have a
well
turret
done.
to their name in the bot lane, and they are up 1,500 gold after being down very early.
Yeah.
So
Very
great
well
turnaround
done.
from them.
Very, very well done. A great job by all the other lanes to go roaming into the river, joining into the fight, and making it. I guess Morgana just kind of hung around, and I decided to pitch a tent in the river and just kind of chill out. But she paid for it, and the rest of her team came to help, and it just did not work out. Here's another lane gank. The taunt comes out. This is surely Vayne dead. Ooh, the condemn comes out, misses one rocket, or one harpoon. Flash comes out from Vayne, and she makes it out. Morgana comes in to help. Another ult comes down. Black Shield's still there. Flashes away from the equalizer. The stun lands under turret. Here comes Ziggs Bomb, picking up the Rammus. Well done. Morgana still alive. Lee Sin, can he pick up the kill on the Katarina? Hiku, the back of the head. Katarina falls. Ward hop. Lee Sin now looking for Rumble. Will he pick it up? Rumble's got a little bit of damage. The binding lands. And that's another kill. Really well done by this Lee Sin.
Yeah, this... Oh, that Ghost Spread Morgana.
Best
terrifying.
recall NA.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and meanwhile, Zig's able to help out in that fight, taking out Rammus with his ultimate, and is able to continually push the mid lane. So it's mid lane turret down. We're now even in turrets, and it looks like Vayne's going to pick up the top one. So the game was drastically in No Cheer, No Fears in terms of the very early game. Ooh, and it looks like a gank mid lane. Is it going to get it off? Flash pops.
Ooh, the flash popped. Jukes the lantern. Baits it out of him. He goes down. There he goes. There goes Ziggs. Rammus escaping with a sliver of health. So that's 2 kills now for the Swaggin' Dragons. Just picked up. That was the Lee Sin and the Ziggs.
Rice Legend being taken down to nearly 40 HP there, goes into defense mode and is able to survive. So this game, a lot of action so far, and it's going back and forth and back and forth. It's like a tennis match.
This is I mean the swing and the advantage that we've seen already from, I mean, as we've said, in favor of No Tear, No Fear, to as even as it appears to be now. No Tear still up 1 tower, but I mean, 400 gold is not a huge difference at 16 minutes. This is a very even game. The hook lands onto the Morgana. Black shield for the Flay, but there's no black shield for the Lucian attacks. That is a heavy hitting Lucian already picking up his Infinity Edge. That Morgana had no idea what was about to hit her. And
on the other side, Vayne is definitely close to finishing her Blade of the Ruined King, and I'm not entirely sure who's got the advantage, while Swag and Dragons look like they're set to take down this mid tower.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good Ziggs ult, though. The hook misses, but that turret does go down. Here, it's just Rumble. It's just Rumble,
before
guys.
that mid turret went down, I was going to say I thought this game was in favor of No Tear, No Fear because they had the 2 turret advantage. But with turrets being equal now, I mean, obviously Swagging Dragons have the Dragon Timer as they took it, but No Tear, No Fear certainly knows when it's up, so they will probably contest. Now, in that fight, I'm not entirely sure who will be victorious. Rumble has definitely come back, already gotten his Leandries.
Yep, that's a huge spike for Rumble.
And assuming that he'll be able to pick up Sork boots before this dragon, it could be very interesting, that fight, but
a good hook lands. So we've got a fight underneath the bot lane turret. Maokai is sucking up a lot of damage. No one's fallen yet. Turret's not attacking anybody. Maokai goes down to Rumble. Morgana ult comes out as well. Whirling, spinning, crazy Katarina, picking up some resets. Can she pick up Ziggs using those super strong autos? She does. That's 2 for her. They're looking to hunt down Lee Sin. Rammus powerballing on through. Lee Sin goes over the wall. He might be out. It looks like he's out.
Yeah, and nearly an ace there. Lee Sin escaping with just a sliver of health. And Dragon not up for a minute, so there's really not much that Swagging Dragons can take off of that other than getting their lanes pushed. They can't take this mid turret and probably will not be able to take this bottom one either, although it is a Lucian with an IE and Brutalizer. But it looks like he's going to back away, pick himself up some golems back, and get ready for this dragon.
So, let's see. How much gold have these teams got? Lucian's sitting on quite a bit of gold there in his pocket. He goes back. He'll be able to, I think, will he be able to finish the, he's got 1,300 gold. He's got a Brutalizer. I'm trying to figure if he'll be able to finish that Black Cleaver or not. But yeah, this dragon fight is going to depend a lot on Maokai's ability to get in there and take a lot of damage and use his ult effectively. Dark Binding missing there. Also Ziggs' timing and Morgana's ability to use her ult effectively. But then, conversely, we have to keep an eye on the Rumble ultimate, which is a killer in those closed spaces like the Dragon Pit, as well as Katarina's ult.
Yeah, and it looks like Dragon being started by Swagging Dragons, nonetheless. And it looks like they're going to take this absolutely no problem.
No, that's the Dragon's Dragon. That was uncontested. A great hook landing over the wall once again on Morgana. She flashes to no avail. Still goes down. What a culling right into the Vayne's face. And Swaggin' Dragons really, taking command of this mid game.
Yeah, it looked like for all the great moves that No Tear, No Fear made in the early game, they were just slow to get to this dragon. They knew when it was up. Oh, Cat goes deep.
Wow, very deep. Kick back onto the turret. She's going to fall. But to whom? Lee Sin picks up Katarina. Ooh, a Ziggs ult comes in. Can't save the turret. Does a little bit of damage. And the Swaggin' Dragons are just going to swag on out of the mid lane, having picked up their prize.
Lucian picking himself up 2 more kills there, having already finished his U moves, which he never even had to use in that entire engage. He is going to have 1,200 gold more to spend right now. So, the combination of Lucian, who has a lot of not necessarily move speed, but he's a great,
Very
sort of
agile.
very agile. That's a great word for it. Very agile AD carry, and then along with Rammus.
Ooh, Vayne ult coming out. Will she be able to pick up the Rumble? Flashes. Rumble also flashes. If she could just get that last Silverbolt proc. There it is. Ooh, looking to fight the Rumble. Sorry, the Rammus. Rumble comes falling out of the sky. Hook lands from Thresh. The black shield comes out. Doesn't save Vayne. The Soul Shackles from Morgana lands on all three. That might get her out of there, but it did not help her team. Oh, the flash hook barely missing by the skin of Morgana's teeth. I don't know how she can make it out, though. That Powerball is bearing down on her, and she has not got any help coming. Well, Ziggs, but he can't outrun that Rammus. Katarina picks that kill up.
And I was worried there that Swagging Dragons was getting a little bit too kill hungry and chasing a support that deep when there was Ziggs and Mao in the mid lane. But it looks like neither of them wanted to push anyway, so they did not pay for it. And it looks like No Cheer No Fear is having a hard time making Swagging Dragons pay for anything so far. This is going to be the fourth turret taken down for Swagging Dragons. They will have a 37, nearly 7K gold lead over No Cheer No Fear. And in the early mid game, we said the game looked like it was going back and forth, and it looks like Swagging Dragons is trying, kind of getting their stranglehold over this game.
Yeah, this is Swaggin' Dragons really, getting a really strong hold on this game. They are looking a lot more solid in their team fights, in their picks, catching people out of position. A couple hooks, great hooks over the wall from Gooby-san, have really opened up this game for the Swaggin' Dragons, and they've come back into it.
And a quick dodge there from Rice Legend. You can tell the man plays him some Rammus.
Yeah. Lee Sin. Good scan. Picking up the ward. Rice Legend chilling in the bush. Banshee's Veil looking stylish. Maybe looking to, well, I'm not sure what he's trying to do.
And it looks like in Rumble's build, he is opting for simultaneously building what I have to assume is a Rylai's and a Zhonya's rather than finishing his Sork boots. I guess he figured he's already got the magic pen coming from Leandri's, so he can start getting himself a little bit tankier, having the armor obviously from Seeker's Armguard and HP from the Giant's Belt.
Ooh, Maokai looking like he's getting caught out here. Rammus flies in, taunts, and brings him back. Wow, the damage coming out. Oh, the flash. That hurts.
That's a big wall.
Failure of a flash coming out from Maokai. He falls.
And that might be those sorts of flashes are that was not an incredibly difficult flash, but when you see a really good player do something like that, you know that they've got to be tilting a little bit. And it looks like this is going to be a 24-minute Baron started from Swagging Dragon.
Oh, Lee Sin looking to steal. Gets hooked. There's no way. The ult coming in from Katarina. Lots of damage. Baron still hasn't gone down. There it goes. The Q snuck its way over the wall, but Rammus picked that up. Blocked it with his armored shell. Now, the Swaggin' Dragons have double the kills, one extra turret, a Baron buff, and a 9k gold lead. If you are... The Swaggin' Dragons have got to feel fantastic right now, considering how they've come back in the last 15 minutes of this game. They look impressive. They're playing decisively, and yeah, they're outmaneuvering. There goes another turret. They're outmaneuvering No Tear No Fear, and they've got, I think, a much more level head on their shoulders in this game right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm really impressed with how well they came back after that very, very, very rough start in the early game. And No Cheer No Fear, they played the mid game well, and it seems like they just got a little bit sloppy. Giving over that second dragon without a fight. Yes, I think Swaggin' Dragons would have won the fight anyway, but I don't think that's why No Cheer No Fear wasn't there. I think that they were just not in position at the right time. I think they have to at least try to contest that. That second dragon really has, for the longest time, been one of the most crucial points in the game. Not only is it worth a ton more gold than it used to be, but generally, a team that gets second dragon and can possibly get some kills after that is going to get a serious power spike.
Well, it looks like No Tear No Fear do know with that ward that the dragon's being killed right now. Lee Sin flashes over the wall, unable to get that smite out, and he dies. He dies decisively. Now Rammus taking the time to put down a little ward. Chasing down the Morgana, runs into a Vayne. I don't think he was anticipating that, but he can just roll on away, and he's fine. The dragon goes over to the Swaggin' Dragons.
Unbelievable. His Banshee's Veil was not popped in that entire little skirmish that
you're
they
right.
had. But, I don't. I mean, that was a tilty flash by Lee Sin. There's no need to flash into Dragon Pit to try to steal it. I mean, obviously, it's important gold, and it'd be great for them to get it, but not worth him sacrificing that turret. And he again.
There he goes. What is
Jaden Jed goes a little bit too deep.
Too deep.
Gets caught out again.
Yeah, and a good Ziggs bomb just now. I think it hit all 5. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not sure what Lee Sin is thinking right now after that flash into the pit, and that, I mean, giving himself up. That does not look like this. I mean, it's there's no need to be making those kinds of plays. Now Maokai goes down under his tower. Oh, but Vayne scooping up the Katarina. That's a lot of damage gone. Can't quite pick up the Thresh. Oh, sorry, the Rumble. Can't quite pick up Rumble. The bomb comes in from Ziggs. 2 very low champs. Oh, the kick comes in. I was really hoping that would pick up someone. Would have been swaggy as hell. Wow, lots of damage coming in from the Lucian. That Q comes out. They're just mopping up what remains of...
No Tear, No Fear. Look like they're almost surprised at how quickly this game has turned. You wonder sometimes if a team gets a great early start, they start to get a little bit lax. You know, when you're behind in, you know, any sport really, you play a little bit more grittier. And consequently, when you're ahead, sometimes you have a tendency to relax. You know, that's why the best athletes in the world, you know, you think of Tiger Woods in golf. You know, when he won, he would win. Like, he would just destroy, and he was always ahead going into the last day. So what you got to do, you know, in games like this, when you've got the lead, don't get lax. You know, no mercy. Put the pedal to the metal and crush them.
Throw down.
If you don't, you give them opportunities to come back, and they did. They gave Swaggin' Dragon the opportunity, and they certainly took advantage. Now a 14k gold lead, 27-11 in kills. I always hate calling games over, but this would be a one of the more epic comebacks if it were to happen. That being said, they do have Ziggs, who's got a death cap, Anna Grail, and Lee Sin with the insect plays.
Oh, wow. Ooh, the twisted advance comes in post flash. Oh, Zanya's through the Ziggs bomb. Will she grab the lantern? Oh no, she'll just shampoo. But the twisted advance manages to pick that up. Morgana dies before the souls even begin to shackle. Double kill for Lucian as Maokai falls to the what is Lucian? The light bringer, the gun wielder, the two-handed pistol wielder.
And as I was saying, you know, Ziggs has great wave clear, so it's very difficult to siege against him, especially when in that last fight, Cat went very deep and did a ton of damage to the back line. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to defend this turret.
I don't think they can.
It looks like everybody is just too far ahead, even without Cat, to try to do anything about that while missing their front line in Maokai.
There's really not much that No Tear, No Fear can really do to counter this siege, except for, like you mentioned, the Ziggs, the invaluable wave clear that he brings. one champ is not enough to stave off this big lead and push that the Swaggin' Dragons are laying down. Also, Baron is up in 25 seconds. They've got to be aware of that, both teams. I don't know how well No Tear No Fear can contest this Baron, but I think they must, right?
I don't know if they can. If they contest it and they lose the game. And if they contest it, they lose. So
right. I mean, it's
there's no way they can fight for this. They will be ace or have a lot of deaths. With 2 inhibs down, they need to stay in their base and clear. And put it this way: if No Tear No Fear is to come back and win this game, we're gonna be here for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll certainly be a hell of a game.
I'd love to see it, though. I for one would absolutely love to see it.
I would not mind a double comeback in one game. But, so Baron goes over to the Swaggin' Dragons. Uncontested. 100% uncontested. Now, they've walked over a ward, so, I don't know. All 5 players given vision. Ooh, the hook misses. Rammus, so tanky, just sitting there taking the bombs and the bolts from Ziggs and Vayne. Doesn't really mind.
Yeah. And Swaggin' Dragons wasting no time after that Baron, going straight down top lane, trying to get the last turret, and it looks like they will get it, although that is a good Ziggs bomb.
That was a good bomb. That turret goes down.
Now would be the time to go, but they're still clearing super minions from the mid and bot lane.
There's another inhib going down. That's 2 down right now. 2 lines of super minions marching into this base. I don't know what No Tear No Fear can do to win at this point, or not even to win, but just to hold on and hold out. Oh, the flash hook connects.
This is probably
what a hook.
Final
2 down in an
fight.
instant. Ziggs goes down. Lee Sin goes down. That's the Asu.
That's a 5 for
everyone
nothing
dead.
ace.
Katarina hop skipping and jumping over everyone, picks up the triple, and that's a stylin' Swaggin' Dragon flash from Rammus there. And, the golden victory pose from Rumble as the Swaggin' Dragons take their first game in decisive style.
Yes, they do. And real quick before we go to break, what do you think for the next game? What do No Tear Fear, particularly in the pick ban phase? Is there anybody you're going to say we're not going to let you have him? Because I will say last week the Rammus was banned against Rice Legend in the first game. And then they left it open in the second to ban out the Lee Sin that he pulled out. And Rammus and his Lee Sin both proved incredibly disturbing in the early game. So what do you think? Is there anything on Swaggin' Dragons that you just have to take away, no questions asked?
Well, I'm looking at this Lucian right now with a final score of 16-1 and 12. That's impressive. Now, I don't know how much of that is just his innate ability on Lucian, or if it's a product of their snowballing way to victory. But I think a Lucian ban in any game at this level is a smart ban anyways. So I think if you were to ban out Lucian and force Garen's Longsword onto another ADC, that would probably be smart. And the Thresh. I think you've got to. I don't know if you can let Gooby-san have Thresh again. That was an impressive Thresh.
That was a good performance of Thresh, and we love to see awesome plays on these kind of champions from these players. But we're going to take a quick break as we set up the next match. So stay tuned for the second match in the first semifinal series between Swaggin' Dragons and No Tear No Fear. All right, we're back for game 2.
Welcome back, ladies and gents.
Swagging Dragons. Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, so game 1 was not quite a stomp. We saw some good things from No Tear No Fear in the early game, but Swagging Dragons at the end closed it out pretty decisively.
Really pulled it out.
And there's that Rammus ban against Rice Legend.
Yep. Wise, I think. An Akali and a Zillion ban coming out. We saw those two same bans in the last game. So, yeah, another Kassadin ban. So far, very similar bans from what we saw, with the exception of the Rammus.
So Swagging Dragons clearly thinking, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
We got something right in our last big ban phase. So they stay with the bans. They're not particularly afraid of anything that No Tear No Fear brought to the table, as nothing was banned that they used in the last game. Lee Sin also being banned, as Swagging Dragons do have first pick, so they're taking both those junglers off the table. It'll be interesting to see. This will be the first time we see Rice Legend on a jungler other than Rammus or Lee Sin, and as you mentioned, Thresh, the highly contested support pick, being picked up first by Swagging Dragons.
I think that's smart for them to take that Thresh as their first pick. I don't know how good Gubi-san is on other champions, but if No Tear No Fear had taken the Thresh away, I think that would have been a pretty hard blow. But as it turns out, Swaggin' Dragons have secured the Thresh again. No Tear No Fear hovering over an Elise and a Morgana.
Yeah, and Elise would be an interesting pick because she's not the strongest jungler overall right now, although in the right hands she still is an incredibly good jungler.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I wonder if maybe they've done their research and Rice Legend also has Elise in his champ pool, or if it's a real strong move for them.
There goes. Yeah, that's Elise and Morgana locked in now. Confident in his ability to play the Elise. Elise is one of my favorite junglers, so I'll be excited to see what he can do with her. There's another Maokai being hovered over, and Lucian once again. I think if they can do the same bot lane that they had in the last game, I don't see why they wouldn't. So far, it's the same support. I don't know what sort of AD carry. Yep, there's the Lucian locked in. I don't know what sort of AD carry No Tear No Fear could lock in that would, really throw the Dragons for a loop.
Yeah, no, they're sticking to the numbers and doing exactly what they did last game, and it certainly worked out for them. So these next two picks will be particularly interesting. Do they decide to show their mid laner, or are they going to leave that for their last pick? Because mid lane was a rather boring affair last game. Obviously, Katarina did work in team fights, but there wasn't a whole lot of action. And Caitlyn being hovered over right now. But the action was really around the Dragon area, bot lane, and then totally, at least in the early game, No Tear No Fear did a wonderful job of taking total control of the top side of the map. And that was really where the early game was in terms of the laning phase. So
right.
I'm wondering, are they going to go with this Caitlyn Morgana? It's not a terrible combination.
I don't know.
And Caitlyn pretty good into Lucian, wouldn't you say?
Caitlyn into Lucian? Yeah, I think she's got the range on Lucian, and that Q has a pretty ridiculous scaling as well, so she does lots of early damage with the poke. Alright, yeah, it's a Caitlyn and a Ziggs locked in. I like the Ziggs pick, at least in lane against the Katarina. I felt like No Tear, No Fear had a stronger laning phase showing in mid lane with that Ziggs than the Katarina did. But Katarina's the roams were the roams that held her, the ganks in her lane were just better, I think, than what Ziggs was able to do on his own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, things really started to go downhill in that first big brawl that we saw, where suddenly Swaggin' Dragons caught out Morgana, and were able to really just snowball off of that one pick. Katarina able to kill Morgana, and then No Tear, No Fear thinking they could come back in. Equalizer goes down, 4-0 Wipe plus Dragon, and it looks like we're going to see Rice Legend pull out the Evelyn, I'm sorry, in the jungle. So that's another very interesting pick, and it adds a total mix into this game.
Yeah, that's interesting. The stealth there going into ganking lanes and whatnot. That's Eve is a scary jungler to face because unless she shows herself in a lane, it's very hard to know where she is at any time in her jungle or in your own jungle. I'm curious with these champions that Smear is hovering over, what they're going to throw up in the top lane.
Yes, obviously
the Kayn locked in.
Wow.
This could be exciting. Exciting in the late game. I think a laning phase between Maokai and Nasus is one of the most boring things I can conceptualize. But I like these picks. I like the diversity. There's not too much sticking with what was in the last game. I mean, of course, we have the same bot lane coming from the Swaggin' Dragons, and the same mid lane and half of a bot lane coming from No Tear, No Fear. But other than that, the Katarina and Maokai were played last game. But I like the diversity of the champion pools that are coming out.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see this jungle matchup. Rice Legend has been really strong all tournament, and this Evelyn pick is very interesting because generally, one of the things about Evelyn, one of the drawbacks is she is somewhat weak early. Not the weakest, but certainly not the strongest. She would not want to fight Elysian, she would not want to fight a Kha'Zix or any of the other really strong jungle picks. But as we said, Elise is not the strongest jungler right now. She's a good duelist. And, I got to think, would Hate Spike could very easily... it has a little bit of an AoE to it, but her Spiderlings early will be able to take some of the damage from that away. But overall, I don't know how a straight 1v1 would go if they were to meet each other.
Between the two of them?
Yeah. Between the two of them, yeah. Obviously, Elise has a much more intrinsic kit and would be able to maybe lock down Evelyn for enough time for Ziggs to get there with a bomb. Because, if, say, some sort of encounter happens in the river or around a Wraith camp, it wouldn't be very difficult for Ziggs to kind of lean over to one side of the lane, throw a Q, and get there before Katarina, on the other hand, is able to help in terms of that. So I'm really interested to see, and I think we will see a little bit more action mid lane this game just because of that.
I think you're probably right. I think just considering the 1v1 potential of both Eve and Elise, I think so I have a lot more experience with Elise than I do with Evelyn, but I think at level 2, Elise has a very good duel potential, just from her percent max or her percent current and percent missing health in human and spider form. I mean, she has 4 abilities to throw at Eve's 2, right? At level 2. Right. So she has the stun and the repel if she chooses to take the E, and then if she chooses to take W second, which makes more sense as a jungler, or at least a jungler who's not planning on ganking at level 2. Then you've got your attack speed steroid and your burst from your human W, your volatile spiderling. So I would be curious to see who could win that duel between the two in the jungle. But as far as lane matchups,
you think we're going to see another lane swap coming from No Tear, No Fear this game? I mean, it went well for them. I mean, you got to say it did. Although they kind of got trounced in the end, I thought the lane swap was a good idea. This game, although I think you want to let Nasus kind of farm his Qs in peace. Mm-hmm. And we are loading onto the Rift right now, and we will in a second take a look at the trademark skin vantage, see which teams are bringing out the splashiest of splash arts, and the coolest skins. So why don't you go ahead and walk us through this matchup?
Well, let's see here. So far, we've got Vanilla Lucian. Whoa, here's everyone. All right, so we've got a Championship Thresh. I like it. It exudes confidence, and we know what Gooby-san can do with it. Festive Maokai. I like it. It's not a very common skin. And it's also rather timely, considering Christmas decorations are already popping up everywhere. Masquerade Evelyn. Not a bad pick. It's a skin. I'll give it that. We've got Victorious Morgana, which is admittedly a very handsome skin. I like it a lot. However, I think the winner... We've also got a Victorious Elise, so there's a lot of confidence here, at least from skins alone, in coming out of No Tear, No Fear. Headhunter Caitlyn, 2 Victorious skins, and the Infernal Nasus, which I think that's the game changer. Really, that's where the game is lost or won, is the ability for Infernal Nasus to scorch the Christmas tree to cinders.
That is entirely true. We'll get down an Infernal Spirit Fire to light up that forest in the top lane potentially. And with that said, our summoners are loading on and are taking off the fountain to head over to wherever they may go. Not really getting a whole lot from No Tear, No Fear. Other than that, they won't be initiating any sort of lane swap this game with Arkenus on Nasus already going to the top lane. It looks like he's going to meet the entire Swag and Dragon team.
Oh gosh, this could be bad. It could be okay though. I think it's tending towards okay. Oh, the hook lands though. This could be a dead Nasus. Ghost popped, Ignite popped, and that's first blood over to Garen's Longsword. No casualties on the side of No Tear, No Fear. Actually, that's a pretty similar start to what we saw last game, isn't it?
It is a pretty similar start. First blood going over to Lucian, which is obviously fabulous. I saw Aiello on Maokai actually flash to get in there.
Did he?
I think.
Well, his flash is down.
Over the wall.
Okay.
So his flash is down. I don't know if necessarily the flash is worth the assist.
He just wanted that assist gold, man.
I think, yeah, he was able to pick up a mana pump. So
he was able to help out.
It's the little things. But, considering it's a lane where he's probably going to be pushed up anyway, might not be the greatest thing. So we'll see what How's Your Mom Doing on Elise does about that. She is starting at her blue, so she will be finishing her first run-through of the jungle near the top lane, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her head there and capitalize on that no-flash Maokai.
I think you're probably right. So we got a blue buff start here for Eve, and a blue buff start for Elise as well on the other side. So this is a matchup we've seen before here, the Ziggs Katarina matchup, although the tables have turned.
And it looks like the lane swap, another lane swap, this time coming from Swagging Dragons,
Right, yeah.
looks like they had no intention of letting Nasus stack his Qs in
Just
peace.
farm
I
up.
know Nasus players everywhere are getting the feels and saying, I've been there, bro.
I understand, bro, completely, bro. We've got... Actually, I really like the skin combination down here between the Victorious and the Headhunter. I think that's great. That bodes
That looks
well.
good.
It bodes well.
And it looks like Gooby-san and Rice Legend are going to go up and do the exact same thing that No Cheer No Fear did to them, back on them, and take away the red buff.
Mhm.
Right? How's your mom doing, though? Knows about it and is able to steer clear of getting in too much trouble.
Ooh, here
Just
comes a
gonna
gank
say-
from Eve. The great satchel coming out of Ziggs. Is it enough, though? Feels like he can turn around with the Elise there. Elise is only level 2 and doesn't have the stun yet, so I think Ziggs is lucky to get out of there in one piece.
Yeah, had Elise had her E up, it would have been probably a dead Eve.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah. And right there before that gank was actually really great. How's your mom doing was looking like he was going to go straight for Eve's red and either steal it or contest her for it in a little bit of a skirmish. But that little interaction mid lane caused her to just go and take a Wraith camp.
Mm-hmm. First, let me take a Wraith camp dive going on here in the top lane. Ooh, Lucian looking to take down Nasus. Takes 2 big tower shots instead. Oh, Katarina here with a cleanup. Raffle my copter. Comes in and scoops up the Doge. Well-timed binding. Welcome to lane, Maokai. But that's big. That's another kill onto the Nasus. And that's the last thing he wants. He just wants to farm that Q up in peace. But a very smart roam from Katarina. Allows him to pick up that kill.
Yeah, no, that was a very intelligent move from Swagging Dragons. In Nasus, it's difficult to completely shut him down because if you get late enough in the game, he will absolutely become a monster.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, Eve coming in and with Cad, but Jade and Jet able to stave off that king. But if you crush Nasus, if you really crush him into the ground early enough, it can make it very difficult for him to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Katarina doing a little bit of damage, but Ziggs able to poke as she walks out. So I think well traded by Ziggs. I'm impressed with the way he's used the satchels so far. That's not an easy thing to do. Oh, looks like Nasus has opted for the bot lane instead and has swapped down. A wise move, I think. Although he has got a level differential on the Maokai. Or rather, Maokai has a level on him. And it's showing in these trades. Oh my goodness, the damage coming out from Maokai pretty hard. 2 Doran's rings.
Maokai's flash is coming out very shortly, so he should be able to bully him no problem.
Ooh, that E needs to land. How's your mom doing? Coming up a little short. Katarina managed... I mean, it's not a complete loss. Katarina did burn her flash. But how's your mom doing? That point-blank stun needs to land. That's the kind of thing that... Because they needed that kill right now. Oh my goodness. We missed it. We missed it. Maokai with the solo kill down in the bot lane. Nasus.
Oh no. Evelyn ganked through the bush, and Maokai actually blows his flash as soon as it's off cooldown to pick up another kill onto Nasus, who teleports quickly back to lane. Ooh, Evelyn.
Some big damage coming out of Evelyn. Wow, yeah. 2 longswords and a red buff. No Tear, No Fear look pretty good across all of their lanes so far in this very early game. Gooby-san, can he land a hook? Well, he lands it on the spell shielded, on the black shielded Caitlyn. Takes a lot of damage for his troubles.
Yeah, and Swagging Dragon's doing a really, really great job. 3 kills, 3 of them onto Nasus. So Maokai is going to have an extremely easy time bullying him. And it might be difficult for Nasus to find his way back into this game,
here comes
which frees up Evelyn to really roam all over the map. But being that we've got the bot lane in the top lane, Dragon's going to be an interesting thing. But, ooh, a heal coming out. Saves Gooby-san. Great job by Garen's longsword on Lucian.
Ooh, Ziggs coming in from the mid lane. He's not yet level 6, so he's got no ult to try and clean up with, but he's got his bombs, he's got his Qs, ooh, Gooby-san with a very nice hook. Oh, the flash is coming out. All sorts of skill shots missed. How's your mom doing? Not landing the stuns that he needs to land.
Yeah, but overall, this was actually really great for No Cheer, No Fear. They're going to be able to pick up this top turret. Great job by Gooby-san avoiding that binding. A lot of skill shots coming out. Great reactions on these players. That 6 picked up by Jaden Jet, so he's probably going to be able to get this mid lane moving if he wants, or save that ulti for a potential dragon fight. But, yeah, you know, overall, I think this is a great decision from No Cheer, No Fear to say, hey, let's go ahead, bite the bullet, and get our lanes fixed a little bit. And at least try to get our AD carry ahead up and shut down this Lucian.
I'm looking at this bot lane, top lane confrontation here. Nasus was very low. I felt like Malachi could have maybe dived under turret using his ult, but
Nasus still had not popped his ulti.
Oh, true.
So that's always the worry. You say, I feel like I can kill him. I feel like I can kill him, and then you go for it,
and then it gets really tall.
And then it gets huge, especially in an Infernal Nasus. That thing is a monster.
Grows a couple heads. So blue buff goes over to the mid lane here, Jaden Jed. He'll be happy for that. Ziggs is a mana hungry mid lane poke machine.
And now both teams totally mirroring each other.
Katarina. Yep, there goes the ult. Taking a lot of damage, the Morgana is, but not enough. Ooh, Raffle my copter. Taking a lot of damage from the Kate ult. Oh, Lucian dashes into the Dark Binding. Another E just falls short. There's a kerfuffle up in the top lane.
Great use of the ace in the hole by killing.
Oh, what a great hook from Gooby. Once again, huge Ziggs bomb comes out. How's your mom doing? Finally falls to Garen and his longsword. Eve picking up a couple other... Wow, okay. That was... I mean, that just swung things heavily in favor of the dragons here. And speaking of dragons...
Speaking of dragons, Swaggin' Dragons are going to pick this up. First dragon coming down at 10 minutes and 13 seconds. So overall, that's a 3 for nothing and a dragon for Swaggin' Dragons. And that was a terrific engage by Rice Legend on Eve. So clearly it's difficult to at least ban this guy out.
Yeah.
His Rammus play is great. His Lee Sin play is great. And he was there at the right time when it looked like No Tear No Fear wanted to sort of chase that fight, because that was a great use. I was about to say that was a great use of ace in the hole, because I mean Katarina was already poked down a little bit. You add that damage in, and it kind of takes her out of the fight, which is perfect because they know Dragon's up. If Cat's not there, we can at least fight for this. But Evelyn comes around, flanks him, and it looks like
there's a
Nasus
fight going.
Wants to fight Maokai now.
Ult's popped. How's your mom doing? Waiting on that stun. It hasn't come out yet. There it goes. And stacks for Nasus.
Stacks for Nasus. Great job by How's Your Mom Doing to give him that kill. It looks like Katarina's roaming up. I don't know what she thinks she's gonna do.
I mean,
she's gonna be kited all the way back to mid lane from Ziggs.
Yeah, she hasn't got the damage to clean up. I think either Elise or Nasus. But she does find a pink ward, so I guess it was not quite all for naught. Oh.
Not all for naught, except for the fact that... Oh, yeah, no, not all for naught for her, because in the bot lane, an easy kill able to be picked up on to Morgana. And this leaves Smear alone on Kaylin in the bot lane, and with Rice Legend coming around behind her, we could see a dive for this tower.
This could be a dive. If Gooby-san could land a very nice hook, or which I think he's certainly got it in him. So there goes Eve. Oh, they're just going to take the tower. And, oh, what a hook. What a great hook.
Look at that.
Into the flay.
Not a single tower shot taken. That was so well done. They said, attack the tower a few times, just get it low enough so that the minions will take it, and then they turn straight on Caitlyn. And it also caused Caitlyn to hesitate just a little bit in order for them to get that Evelyn ultimate off, followed by a death sentence, which certainly was Caitlyn's death sentence.
Ooh, great ults coming out. Great ult from Eve. Ziggs. Did she Shunpo back onto the minefield? Yeah, I think she did. I think she Shunpo'd back onto the minefield.
And then tried to flash out of the Ziggs ulti, but hit the mid lane sort of, I don't know what you want to call that, torch. Not quite a fail flash, but a fail flash nonetheless. And it looks like Swag and Dragon just gonna muscle down this mid tower.
Wow.
They're going extremely deep.
Gooby Sen. He misses the hook. He flashes in with the flay. Smear able to pick him up though using the Q. Lots of damage coming in from Caitlyn. Oh, the dog comes in, pops Ghost and ult. This is a scared Lucian. The Q comes in from Caitlyn, picks up Lucian, and now Eve. Good flash over the wall. The dog is chasing. Nasus chases. Wither comes down. Katarina took one step too many. Popped her head out of the bush.
Yeah. Great use of teleport there by our Kenus on Nasus.
Ooh!
Rafflemycopter getting a little bit too friendly after they had just lost a fight.
Wow,
trying
wow.
to defend this mid turret.
Mm-hmm. Her ult was also canceled almost immediately by Ziggs' satchel. Yeah,
and you mentioned Jaden Jed's use of that satchel.
I've been impressed. I'm impressed with his Ziggs play thus far. The exhaust and flay comes out. Maokai ult comes out as well. The Q comes across, picking up Katarina. Ziggs satchel over the wall with the fadeaway bomb. Not quite enough to pick up Maokai. Stun lands. The binding hitting a minion, and the culling just hitting the backside of Elise, keeping Caitlyn safe there. But
unreal. That was only a 1-for-0. Ziggs looked like he was in such dire straits there. Caitlyn escaping away with almost no health. But that is one kill picked up for No Cheer, No Fear. So overall, this game, still a lot of action. I would say that Swag and Dragon certainly have the moves, and they do have a nearly 4K gold advantage here at 15 minutes, even on towers, but they have the Dragon and kills to their name. But overall, I would say this game is, in terms of the overall game flow, it feels much more even. Both mid turrets still up. And that I really think is going to be where we might actually finally see some good old-fashioned mid-lane team fights here in the early mid-game.
Some classic ARAM.
Some classic ARAM, indeed.
We're walking over
and
wards
it looks
here.
like both teams have heard my request and are headed, keeping the top laners splitting opposite lanes, and we have some 4v4 action here. Right now it looks like No Cheer, No Fear on the defensive. Ziggs gonna be, that is their wave clear.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting decision.
That is a scary wall of Caitlyn traps as well.
I wonder if Swag and Dragons knows that he back. Of course, that he does not have any Inferno Bomb up now to clear this wave, but between Elise, Morgana, and Galen, they're able to shut it down. And with Dragon coming up in 2 seconds, Swag and Dragons are the first to the punch yet again.
Great moves again from Swag and Dragons. This goes over to them absolutely uncontested. I mean, No Tear, No Fear must know that that's what happened. Look at these 3 pairs of contradictory wards. There's a fight going on in the top lane as the dog and the tree take whacks at each other. Maokai doing a much better job of tanking up the damage and also putting out his own damage. That sustain from his passive is...
Yeah, but there is a real fight going on in the mid lane. Lucian going down and Katarina going down. Elise had already gone down. The Swagging Dragons took that second dragon and immediately, No Cheer, No Fear, rushed down mid lane and kind of cut them off from defending their own turret, and the pathing of both teams Swaggin' Dragons trying to get in position to defend that turret, not able to, went ahead and engaged. And overall, I've got to say that was a victory, albeit they lost to Dragon, a victory for No Cheer, No Fear. Cutting that down to nearly almost in 3K gold. So gold-wise, it stays relatively the same. But this time, it's this Caitlyn is doing a little bit better. She's got 5 kills, an IE.
Nasus better watch out. That was a great hook through the minions. Katarina comes down with the ult. Nasus using that ghost. There's his lantern, excuse me. Hook is back up. Oh, the flash juked by the Nasus. A great job there. Sapling comes in with a little bit of a slow. He's also got, there it is, the twisted advance. Makes it back to his turret, but is it enough? A lot of tanking going on. Katarina.
He had ulti there. It's interesting he didn't pop it. I guess he assumed that he was going down regardless.
I don't know. He might have made it if he'd ulted there. He made it back to his turret.
He made it back to his turret, and he could have, but I guess the turret really didn't have much on it. And right now, No Cheer, No Fear, that was in a very extended chase. They're trying to take advantage of it by taking this bot tower.
Eve caught Ziggs there in the red side jungle and picks him up. I think he was watching top lane because he threw an ult out way off from where he was, and Eve just dished out the damage and managed to catch him peeking at another lane.
Yeah, and this is interesting because ulti coming down. Ooh, I think that level up may have just saved Katarina getting a little bit extra HP on her.
That's a
teleport coming out of Maokai, and Rice Legend going to go ahead and take the mid tower, or is he?
Maokai's still on the chase here in the bot lane. Ooh, walks back into the binding. He hasn't got any friends to help back up his chase, so he falls back.
And Evelyn not able to take that mid tower. So overall, although that chase was not necessarily the worst thing for Swagging Dragons, I think it's still relatively even. No Cheer, No Fear able to pick up that bot tower, and they were only committing 2 players, but we got a big engage from IEL on the Fnatic Dark Eye.
Twisted Advance comes out, the hook misses, the sapling pops and hits both. This tower mid lane is almost not there. It's only got about 100 health, 133 to be exact. So not very much. It could fall to an auto attack or 2.
Yeah, and this is not the time to be taking blue buff, but I guess that Caitlyn wave clear is not bad.
No, with that Q,
I was worried. See, I keep seeing Ziggs leaving lane. We saw him back earlier, and that's the opportunity for this Swaggin' Dragons to take mid tower.
Ooh, a bold engage from Evelyn. The hook! Man. What a range on that hook. It lands on Elise. Ooh, good soul shackle from Morgana. It's broken on all but one person. But the binding and the cocoon come out. Thresh finally goes down. And we've got a split-up fight here. Nasus tanking up a lot of damage with that health of his. Eve scooting on away. Will Nasus pop Ghost? No, he won't, because he doesn't have it. But he'll keep chasing Evelyn. Meanwhile, Maokai trying to figure which one of these low-health individuals to take out. Lucian finds Morgana. Caitlyn's in a tough spot here. Lucian putting down some damage on the Nasus. Nasus doesn't have much armor. He just has a lot of health. So he's able to carve through that pretty easily. And that puts us in a very bloody score of 17-10 here at 20 minutes.
Unreal team fight. I mean, that was so exciting, and it's still going on.
It's not even over yet. Ooh, a flash comes out. Everything's coming out. The Dragons are out for blood this game.
They really are. I mean, it was a crazy fight mid. Rice Legend goes in, quickly decides that that's not the engage they want.
Right.
But then the hook lands onto Elise.
Beautiful
but then
hook.
The counter ulti from Morgana was wonderful. Totally bloody team fight, and really extended. The fight was taken on all over the place. Maokai came back in with a piercing light from Lucian, was able to get a kill. I mean, it was just absolutely hectic. Really a lot of fun, and it looks like we're going to get to see another one. Dragon spawning in just over 15 seconds. Katarina, though, is in the top lane. I don't know if she has time to... Actually, the entire Dragon Dragon's team is going back right now. Maokai and Katarina in base. It looks like they've got homies, and
that's big.
But No Tear No Fear is not even
Right.
in the area. This is the second dragon in a row they're giving up with no contest. I just don't understand it.
See, I was worried because Rice Legendary, the Evelyn, walked just past the bush with the pink word in it, and she swept it and everything, but she didn't know it was in there. But that did nothing to encourage a contention for the dragon. Ooh, a flash hook, barely missing the Ziggs. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
The dragons are in a tight spot here. They've been cornered. They've been attacked on 3 sides. Lucian goes down to Nasus and his stacked Q. Katarina picks up Elise. This fight is once again scattered. There's 3 separate fights happening at the same time. Katarina picking up a double. I hear the ult. I can't find it, but I hear it. Some blades flying around. Katarina picks up a 3rd kill, and Evelyn picks up the 4th. And that's a 4-for-1 exchange. Only Lucian goes down for the dragons, and only Morgana is left alive.
Yeah, I gotta say, for all the organization that No Tear No Fear has, and they play very well at times, I'm just shocked that this is the second dragon in a row, in addition to the fact that the second dragon last game, they gave up no contest.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, they were then sort of caught off guard in their own jungle. It seemed like they thought that they had caught maybe some post-dragon wanderers from Swaggin' Dragons, but that fight was major. That was major. Things are definitely starting to swing in Swaggin' Dragon's favor as they now have a 10k gold lead.
Not quite enough. Oh, she shunned pose. Let's Thresh take that in the mouth. Gooby-san, will he make it out? Ooh, baits the stun out, but the Frost Queen's claim comes out from Morgana, and the binding eventually picks him up. These fights have been so odd. The last 2 big team fights, the first one was like 2 separate fights spanning the entire width of mid lane, and then the second fight over by Blue Buff in the white camp was 3 separate fights going on at once. They're not very organized, but when you split up a team fight like that into 2 or 3 little skirmishes of 2v1s and 1v2s, when you're up by 10 kills and almost a 10,000 gold, that's the way, I guess, the Swaggin' Dragons feel like they can win all these fights, is by splitting them up.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if either of these teams, I mean, both teams have a little bit of wombo combo-ness, but overall, I mean, it's just a lot of peeling and a lot of targeting, and it ends up pulling these fights, the 2 teams apart, and you get these almost little skirmishes everywhere. An uncharacteristic miss hook there from Gooby-san.
That minion, he had it coming. That minion in particular.
That we all know what he was saying earlier about Gooby-san.
Gooby-san having none of it. Gonna diss my Thresh, I'm gonna throw a hook into your face.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like Swaggin' Dragons are indeed taking control of this game yet again. However, it should be noted, it is in no way the level and at the velocity at which it happened last game.
Yeah, true. Both sides kind of opting to farm up right now. Dragon's not up for a while. I don't think Baron's really on anyone's... Well, maybe I'll stop talking and see what happens. Baron seems to be on the minds of the Swaggin' Dragons, and it's a very good Baron call, actually. No one is around to really contest this Baron. This should be theirs, and it is.
And they know what's going on. There was a ward there, timed out in the middle of the taking of Baron, but certainly they know what awaits them in mid lane now. So it'll be interesting to see. No Tear No Fear has got to know that they're behind. What do they want to do here? I mean, like we said, I thought it was interesting that Caitlyn opted for the Static Shiv. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, good bomb.
But, with Ziggs and a Caitlyn with Static Shiv, that is a heap of wave clear. And it seems like they keep picking these teams and building these champs in a way that'll just let them drag out games, but they're not able to. And it looks like blue pings are coming down. Ooh, the backs are stopped. Only Thresh remains. He has to
Gooby.
flash away.
Oh, that binding is so wide, though. He can't quite dodge it. He gets picked up. Ziggs picks up that kill. Ooh, Nasus walking into a tarp. Ooh, it's Katarina and Evelynn. Lots of burst coming out, but is it enough? Nasus ghosts and withers. Ults even. And he's going to get out of there. Ooh, the cocoon comes in. Nasus turning back around. Feels like he can join in this fight. Nasus might go down. He does to Katarina. Lots of AoE here from Maokai and Katarina ultimates. Morgana Soul Shackles come in. A very nice one. Snares up Maokai. Forces a flash from Evelynn. Good culling on the backside of Morgana. This fight so drawn out. It seems to have diffused as Garen picks up... Garen's longsword, rather, picks up Morgana at the tail end of that fight. But 3 lost for No Tear, No Fear, and only Katarina falls on the side of the Swaggin' Dragons.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a misstep by Rice Legend. It was him and Katarina attempting to pick off an assist.
Yeah.
No matter how far you are ahead, the fact remains that you're Evelynn and you're building slightly tanky, and neither of you have any CC.
You're not gonna.
Nasus is huge, so it's very difficult to kill him. But they were almost able to pull it off, and I really thought that was the fight that No Cheer, No Fear needed to stay on and needed to win.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't close it out fast enough.
Right.
And it allowed Lucian to get there, lay down a culling, and just put an end to it. For the first time ever, Purple Ping's coming down onto Dragon, and I think they're just saying, hey, by the way, you're getting another Dragon. And this is going to go ahead and extend the gold lead to about 14k just before 30 minutes. Score right now 25-14 and 5-3 in turrets. Definitely looking like Swaggin' Dragons is going to be on their way to the finals.
Yeah, that's been the story of the series, I think. These uncontested neutral objectives. It just seems like not even that the Swaggin' Dragons are like a step ahead of No Tear, No Fear, but that they just aren't aware that objectives are being taken. Caitlyn just, too far ahead.
Yeah, that's with her being down. Swaggin' Dragons knows they can just go for it.
Great bomb
and
coming
they
out.
Do.
Yeah, it's just a cleanup fight under their turret. No losses. Not a single death on the side of, Rice Legendary might. Ooh, it's close.
No,
They're looking to tank down the... Ziggs wishing he had his ult now. He used it in the fight, but if he plays this smart, he could pick up a couple kills here. But
yeah, it looks juicier than it really is. Especially with the fact that he has no mana.
Yeah, no mana and not much damage. A Zanya's and an Athene's at 30 minutes is not the Zanya's Deathfire Grasp haunting guys that Katarina has. I'm just looking at the scores across the board for the Swaggin' Dragons, and they have got a 9-kill Katarina and an 8-0 and 15 Evelynn. This is things are looking grim for No Tear, No Fear.
Yeah. I said that this Evelynn was building a little bit tanky. She's got the Thornmail and the Hex Drinker, in addition to the Blade of the Ruin King.
And a Randy. And the
Randuin's obviously for some serious HP and armor.
Wow.
Rice Legend has just been playing out of his mind.
He's been playing, excellent. Excellent play in both games.
And if you go ahead and look at Elise on the other side, only with the Aegis, looks like she's on her way to maybe a Randuin's or a Sunfire. This Evelynn is absolutely massive. She definitely falls off late game, but not compared to an Elise who's not really even in the game.
Right. If you don't make it to that late game, it doesn't quite matter if your champ is better in the mid game or better in the early game. If you can extend such a dominating lead, like the Swaggin' Dragons have made for themselves in this game and the last one, there's really no need to fear about the scaling of your champions. Yeah,
and only 340 Q-Secs on on the Kane right now is really not
not as many as you'd like at all.
For 3 minutes.
I mean, when the Evelyn can just walk up and come out of stealth in front of 4 of your players and then just scoot on away, you're in it's a bad situation.
Slightly demoralizing.
Yeah. I mean, they're knocking on the door of the base. Their mid inhib is gone. They're backed up in towers to the inhibitors across all lanes. This is the turtling phase of the game for No Tear No Fear.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will, if they are to win, much like last game, it will be this turtling for quite a while. I obviously see Swag and Dragons headed to the PGN Invitational Finals as we get a big engage from Evelyn, but she looks like she's not really sure she wants it. Not really
quite
sure if she wants that lantern. Not really sure what they want to do all around. Just being a constant nuisance. Baron up in 19 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to just go ahead and take down the Nexus.
I think they could end it. The E missing again. Ooh, great Ziggs bomb hitting 4 people. Culling coming out from Lucian. Lucian gets blown up. Morgana with the great Soul Shackles. Folks are falling left and right on both teams. 2 kills so far for both teams. Ziggs gets picked up. Katarina finally sniped by the ace in the hole. Triple kill coming out for Ziggs, and Nasus limping away. That is an ace.
That is an ace.
That was an ace.
No Tear, No Fear. Really, really big ace.
As Baron is live.
One of those crazy team fights that you were talking about earlier. As Baron respawns.
Yeah.
And I think, right now, if we want to see, if there's any chance that they stay in this tournament, they've got to go to Baron now.
Well, could they even take Baron? There's some wild pings coming out.
I mean,
on Baron.
It's only 34 minutes. The death timers are not massive. I think if the whole team had rushed over there, they probably would be finishing it.
Well, a few of them were dead, right?
Soon,
2 of them, the jungler was dead.
But now it's too late. They needed to book it.
Yeah, this is...
And a teleport coming in from Maokai could
and they don't see it either, do they? Oh, Maokai comes flying in.
I think they did see that, and they quickly backed off.
Well, they must have seen it, I think. I was just looking for the word.
But back, so they are able to contest this Baron if they want. Even with the ace, I still think they're way too far behind to really fight them. But, Baron doing work on their behalf.
Yeah, if they could get, a binding into a cocoon, that's a lot of... Ooh, Katarina coming in on the side, doing lots of damage to the dog. The dog goes down. Evelyn picking up Baron also in the fray. Morgana with a good Zhonya's. Culling coming across the back, killing Morgana. Manages to pick up Elise as well. Evelyn chasing down Caitlyn. Hate spikes coming out. Pow, pow, pow. Red buff also coming down.
Really good attempt there by Smear. But, he's only got 2 serious abilities that are able to help him kite an Evelyn, which is the flash and the 90 caliber net backwards.
Right.
And, a little bit of BM coming from Price Legend thinks that they've got this one wrapped up in the bag. And I have to agree with them. It was a great mediocre
the damage
comeback, but it looks like this might be the game.
I think this is, it looks to be curtains for the, for No Tear, No Fear. As the final Nexus turret goes down, Nasus not quite ready to submit just yet. Hook goes onto him.
Man.
Dark Binding, though.
Great charge-ons from Gubi-san onto Garen's Longsword on Lucian to totally wipe away any damage that Nasus Q had in store for him.
Nasus looked like maybe he wanted to chase down Katarina, decides against it, clears the wave under tower. And exposed Nexus, but No Tear, No Fear, live to fight another day.
Exactly, it's the little things.
They're down 20,000 plus dragon, excuse me. and they've, they're missing an inhib, and their Nexus is dead, It's, I don't see how they could come back from this. Obviously you don't want to surrender, you don't want to just give up, but...
Well, I personally, I would say that even with the exposed Nexus and the down mid inhib, this team could come back. Zig scales well pretty much all game. He's got the wave clear, and he starts to do a lot of damage, as we've seen from some of these Inferno Bombs in the team fights. The problem is that this Nasus is still sub 400 Q stacks.
Oh,
and
wow.
We're almost 38 minutes in. I mean, at this point in the game, you're looking for 500. So for him to not even be at 4 is not good. And I'm not saying anything against Arkenu's Q stacking abilities.
Sure.
He was, like I said in the early game, he was stomped into the ground.
Yeah.
First 3 kills for Swag and Dragons, first 3 kills of the game were against
him.
Nasus.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they, and it's paying dividends here 37 minutes later.
Another siege built up this time in the bot lane for the Swag and Dragons. Some good poke from Ziggs and Caitlyn, but Baron buff mitigating with the regen whatever sort of.
Meanwhile, Rice Legend trying to go for the back door on Evelyn.
The back door. I didn't even notice. The Nexus, it finally falls in yet another chaotic team fight. But the Swag and Dragons emerge victorious in 2 decisive back-to-back games in this best of 3.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see them go to the finals. Great job by both teams. Certainly a more competitive match than the scoreline would indicate. But I really think, and we talked about it earlier, I really think that the contestable objectives, like the Dragons in both matches, No Tear No Fear was just always a step behind in terms of organization. We saw that second and third Dragon from Swag and Dragons, and it wasn't like Swag and Dragons had set up all the vision 30 seconds beforehand and they were guarding it, as though their life depended on it. They went there and they said, "Hey, they're not here. Let's take Dragon."
They just took it. Yeah. The neutral objectives did not seem to be a priority for No Tear No Fear in either of these games. I think that's a big part of what lost in this series was their seemingly disregard for the neutral objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for me, my MVP, at least in that game, was Rice Legend on Evelyn, finishing 11-1 and 18.
Oh, wow.
Absolute monster. And played very well in Rammus in the first game. And personally, if I'm facing him in the finals, I've seen 3 junglers that he's played.
Yeah.
Evelyn, Rammus, and Lee Sin. They were all spectacular. You got to ban him out. Just ban him out. The whole team is very strong. It's a very strong bot lane.
It is. That's a scary bot lane.
Gooby-san and Garen's Longsword. But I think if you take out those 3 picks, or at least work the pick ban base around those, then maybe you can take Lee Sin for yourself. You might be able to do something. So, any other thoughts in terms of what you think for Swag and Dragons in the finals?
Well, I think their bot lane is a very impressive bot lane, and I think as long as they can keep their wits about them and keep a strong laning phase, I wouldn't be too worried about their bot lane performing. Their jungler, Rice Legend, like you said, it seems either you ban him out entirely or you leave him with a champion he's very good with. And that's a very tough situation for an opposing team to find themselves in, where in order to ban out an opposing player, you need to use all 3 bans. And it just doesn't quite seem feasible, because then you give Gooby-san his Thresh, which I think is I think Gooby-san's Thresh, not quite as much in this game, but in the last game, he was certainly my MVP.
And I think they would definitely agree with you as to the importance of that Thresh as they first picked it in this game.
Yep.
Well, that is it for us here at the PGN Invitational. Thank you so much for joining myself and J.R. Bacon. Robert, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow's matchup between On a Diet and Taiwan Girls Are Hot. On a Diet, we have not actually had a chance to witness on the stream, but we did see Taiwan Girls Are Hot pull out a great 2-0 series victory last weekend when they went the Vayne and Rise combo